Hi, Phil Hoskins, CEO of Atomic Eagle, here for the Crux Pitch Perfect presentation. For those that aren't aware of Atomic Eagle, we listed in November 2025. It was a company that was founded by Grant Davey and Keith Bowers, who were founders of Boss Energy and Lotus Resources within the uranium space. So a great pedigree for a uranium company to be listed on the ASX. It occurred from taking over GoviEx Uranium Inc., a TSXV listed company, with a very exciting uranium asset in Zambia, and I'll also talk about our asset in Niger. Before doing that, I just wanted to talk through the thematic, and uranium is a very strong thematic. One of the reasons I was willing to join the company is it's one of the commodities that I'm most bullish about moving forward. And the reason for that is, for the first time since the 1960s, towards the end of this decade, reactors are going to be dependent on new supply coming out of the ground, and due to secondary supplies over the last many decades, that hasn't been the case. And since Fukushima, the market has been working through quite significant secondary supplies, but that deficit you see there, around 30 million pounds, is going to need to be rectified from uranium coming out of the ground. And the supply situation is quite delicate. It's delicate because there's a huge concentration of current production in a small number of mines, and that was emphasised recently when the bridge going into one of Cameco's mines has sort of fallen away. So very sensitive to supply risks. The incumbents have obviously been very disciplined with bringing new supply to market. But towards the end of this decade, there's no doubt that a structural deficit is opening up. It's very difficult to see where new supply is going to come from. And that's a favourable environment for Atomic Eagle, which is in a stable jurisdiction and able to bring on credible near-term pounds towards the end of the decade. And we think that when we approach strategic investment and offtake discussions, that's going to be a really favourable environment to do so within. Now to talk about our Muntanga uranium project in southern Zambia. The resource is 58.8 million pounds at 309 ppm. The measured and indicated component of that is 40 million pounds at 359 ppm. GoviEx completed a feasibility study in 2025, which outlined a 12-year heap leach operation at 2.2 million pounds per annum. But importantly, that only included 56% of the current resource. Only the measured and indicated components of Muntanga and Dibwe East in the middle there. Chisabuka and Muntanga East were recently added by Atomic Eagle, and the other satellite deposits were excluded. And we feel that all those resources will be included in future mine plans, which is very positive. One thing that the feasibility study did demonstrate are the technical parameters that really attracted us to this project. The low strip ratio open pit mining, very simple heap leach processing, achieving high recoveries, greater than 90%, with low acid consumption around 20 kilograms per tonne. And that's a real driver of operating costs in a uranium operation such as this. From a permitting point of view, you can see on the image here, the dark licenses are mining licenses. So all resources sit on mining licenses at the moment. GoviEx also lodged their environment and social impact assessment and resettlement action plans with the Zambian authorities in October 2025, and our expectation is in the coming months, around mid-2026, we should be in receipt of the environmental approvals and the resettlement action plan. That would leave us fully permitted and able to go and build a uranium mine if we wish, but the deliberate strategy of Atomic Eagle is to focus on resource growth, because we would like to have an upgraded resource underpin a larger scale mine and production profile moving forward. We think we've got a fantastic way to do it. We've got 1,100 square kilometres of tenements. We're in the Karoo Basin, which is host to over 500 million pounds of uranium resources in southern Africa. And we're doing it in a jurisdiction such as Zambia, which is a well-known mining jurisdiction, being the 7th largest copper producer. They've got a very favourable tax regime with no government free carried interest, and they rank extremely highly on the Fraser Institute. So in our opinion, no better place in Africa to be looking for uranium, and Africa as well is geopolitically neutral, and being able to eventually sell to the east and sell to the west, and also obtain financing from either of those sources, we think's a great place to be developing a uranium project. So what's 2026 hold for us? and our goals and deliverables for this year, we are seeking to target a step change in the resource for Muntanga. And what does that mean? So we started with 58.8 million pounds. We'd love to get it over 100 million pounds by the end of the year. And that is the exploration target that we released in December, was 40 to 100 million pounds, which was in addition to the 58.8 million pounds that we have. And so that's anywhere from 100 to 150 million pounds based on the range of the exploration target. It is a district scale opportunity. It's 1,100 square kilometres within the known Karoo Sandstone Basin. As I mentioned, over 500 million pounds of resources. And what we have already are a number of data sets from a radiometrics point of view, airborne radiometrics. We've got radon in soils, and we've got the favourable host rock in the escarpment grit formation that we know is host to uranium resources in this region. So all those data sets are there. From a resource point of view, for $700,000 of drilling, we were able to add 11 million pounds down at Chisabuka in the southwest down there. We've also today only announced the first results from the program this year, where we're planning to drill upwards of 50,000 metres at the project, starting at Chisabuka, and they were the results we released today, but furthermore across Muntanga North, Namakande 1 and Namakande 2. And it's really exciting. There's over 10 targets with all of those data sets overlaid on top of each other. And we believe that 2026 will be a year for new discoveries. And as I mentioned, updating the mineral resource by the end of the year. Then we'll flow into 2027 with an update to the feasibility studies. As I mentioned, seeking to target a larger scale project, which we believe will be significantly economic at today's uranium price. Just on a valuation point of view, and on an EV to resource pound point of view, compared to other ASX listed advanced uranium companies in Bannerman and Deep Yellow, we're trading at a significant discount to those companies. We have an advanced project, as I mentioned, not far away from being permitted, and our grade is higher than these companies. I guess from a technical standpoint, our project is closest to a Bannerman in terms of simple acid heap leach with high recoveries and low acid consumption. And it was interesting to note recently that Bannerman concluded a significant transaction in the uranium space, and I think a demonstration of the strategic interest in the uranium space, introducing CNNC, a major Chinese state-owned nuclear company, as a strategic investor into their project at project level. That put a $1 billion post-money valuation, Australian dollars, on 100% of Bannerman's asset, and our enterprise value at Atomic Eagle is roughly $130, $140 million today. So that's the size of the prize for us, a 6 to 7 times uplift if we can improve the scale, demonstrate what that does to the economics, and then when the timing's right, update those studies and entertain the same sorts of discussions to look at financing the Muntanga project as well. So just to finish, I believe that the feasibility study that we have provides an excellent technical baseline. It demonstrates to us that the technical results and work that's been done has been done to a high standard, and at the right scale, the project will be economic. And that's what we're looking to demonstrate. Increasing that scale will ensure that even at $90 a pound, the economics will look extremely favourable. To get to that, we're kicking off with a 30,000 metre drill program that will be concluded by August. As I mentioned, it'll end up being upwards of 50,000 metres that we would have drilled by the end of the year. We're well funded to do so. I think our budget has us closing the year with $9 million in the bank, even with 50,000 metres of drilling. Doing so into the strongest uranium setup that we've seen in many decades. As I mentioned, the end of this decade will be reliant on uranium coming out of the ground for the first time since the 1960s. And the last little piece and the option piece for the company is we have a world-class asset in Niger that was expropriated from GoviEx in 2024. We're in discussions with the Niger government about trying to get that back, and we believe we'll have an update in the coming months in that regard. It is a world-class asset. It's 116 million pounds at 1,300 ppm, more than twice the size of our Zambian project and 4 times the grade. Of course, you can't buy shares in us today solely on the basis of getting that asset back, but we believe it's excellent option value when you consider that we're heavily undervalued off the back of Zambia. So that's the high level pitch on Atomic Eagle. It's going to be growth from numerous angles, growth from the drill bit and the resource growth, demonstrating the economics make sense at the highest scale, and also getting that asset back in Niger, and all with the overlay of being in the right thematic, with energy security top of investors' minds and governments' minds after the Middle East issues. And great place to be when you don't need funding and you've got incredible news flow to come. So we look forward to keeping investors updated through the website, through our news flow, and through Crux, and reach out to the company if you'd like to know more.